Mark, and a beautiful day here on the farm as we welcome you to the Pac-12 on ESPN. Getting set for Stanford and Indiana, and let's get you right into the Hoosiers locker room pregame with Coach Terry Morin.
We can't let Cameron Brink have 22 rebounds on us like she did a couple years ago in Florida. It can't happen. All right? It can't happen. You got to put your foot down. It cannot happen. All five on the floor, you're connected. All five of you on the floor have to be connected. All right? Follow the game plan. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. You got to be sound. You got to be disciplined. Talk to each other. All right? And fight like crazy. All right? Fight like crazy. You guys got a great opportunity. You're on a great stage today. All right? Playing a great basketball team. All you need to be is you. All right? All you need to be is you. All right? Everybody ready for that? Yeah.
And the Hoosiers are ready to fight like crazy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maples Pavilion. I'm Beth Mowens along with Debbie Antonelli. Already heard about Cameron Brink. She had a big night the last time these two played. The All-Americans are in action again, Debbie, and we've got a really good one on hand.
Well, we've got two great programs, right? And we've got two really good offensive teams. There's going to be a lot of threes in here. If you like passing and cutting and really good pace, this is the game for you.
And how about the All-Americans, Cameron Brink and Mackenzie Holmes?
Well, we've got two really good players that are All-Americans last year, and they are on the All-American preseason list right now. On the defensive end, Cameron Brink owns the paint. Set all kinds of block shots records here at Stanford. At 6'4", she's long and active, and she's extended her offensive range. She's incredibly competitive on both sides. And then Mackenzie Holmes. Look at the footwork. Watch the balance in her game, inside out. She's got quickness in her reverse pivot. She also has the strength and the IQ to play through the double. She is a go-to on the block for Indiana.
Both of them stout offensively and really good defensively. They're conference defensive players of the year, and Cameron Brink took home the national Defensive Player of the Year award as well. Both have opened up with a win to start out the season. And two really good coaches on the sidelines. Tara Vanderveer, 38th season at Stanford, 45 years as a head coach. She's done it all, and it all started, Debbie, back in Indiana where she played in the 1970s.
She was a guard, she was a scorer, she was a bucket getter. And in her 70th year, she's still here at Stanford as the all-time wins leader. Learned a lot from her Bobby Knight days, she says, because she did take his class while she was a student at Indiana. And if you took the class, Beth, you could go to all of his practices. She said to me and you yesterday, Bobby didn't know that she was going to show up at every practice with her notebook sitting 20 rows up in the stands.
She's done it all. Olympic gold, national championships, the all-time wins leader in women's college basketball history, and by the end of the year likely to pass Coach K, #1 all-time men and women. Home whites for the Cardinal and road reds for the Hoosiers. Both of these clubs last year were #1 seeds in the NCAA tournament, both disappointing early ousters. And the charge taken early on. Both of these teams returned 4 of their 5 starters and little hunger in their belly as a result of last year's disappointment. There's the starting 5 for the Cardinal, led by Brink. Kiki Iriafen is one to watch. Had a double-double in their opener, a win over Hawaii.
The Cameron Brink being guarded by a smaller player in Parrish.
And a jump with the miss, but then the tip to herself to get it right back.
Both these teams really good on the catch and shoot. And the key tonight is rebounding and playing with pace and then defending the three-point line. You have to guard the three-point line and make each team dribble into their shot.
There's the starting 5 for Indiana, led by Mackenzie Holmes. They had to replace their all-everything Grace Berger. Then they moved Chloe Moore McNeil to the point this year. Here is Chloe. Lefty J, no good, rebound Brink. They will look to push at every opportunity, and a foul going to be called on the Cardinals. So a peek at the strategy right away here to meet the Cardinal way up the floor, Debbie.
Well, you want to get in Talana Lopolo's vision quickly and make her handle up the floor. Like I said, both teams are really good on catch and shoot. They play off the pass. The key is to try to make them dribble a lot. And so if you can make that matchup an issue, Chloe Moore McNeil can be a factor on that point guard matchup.
Holmes, mid-range. Iriafen with the rebound, the 6'3" junior from Los Angeles. Jumper won't go. Brink has the offensive rebound, and the shot gets blocked. Yarden Garzone, the 6'3" sophomore from Israel, got up to get it. Off the bounce, pull up, no. Sarah Scalia, and it'll stay this way.
Both these teams that shoot around today, so prepared. It's so early in the season. It's amazing how much detail both coaches can get in on the scout on the other team, considering they've only played a game. Keep in mind, Chloe Moore McNeil is a left-handed player.
Sydney Parrish, swatted by Brink, and she keeps it in play, and now running the point. Brink finds a shooter. Got it. Elena Bazgana, the junior from Greece.
Rebound, push, and you got Cameron Brink. She's added that to her skill set, right? 6'4", handling off the glass, getting it up the court.
Senior out of Beaverton, Oregon.
And that pass was right to the shooting pocket too, Ben.
Yep. Look for the shooters. Parrish, short on the shot. Indiana starts out 0 for 5 to open up the ball game. Lopolo, good defense by Holmes, and then Iriafen bumped the rebounder.
Look at that rim protection, and then the bust up the court by Cameron Brink to a wide open shooter in transition. That's why guarding the three-point line is so important, and rebounding is critical because both these teams like to get up and down.
Last time they met a couple of years ago, how about a 21-point, 22 rebound, 5 assists, 5 block game? The only one in college basketball in the last 25 years with those kinds of numbers. They were down in the Bahamas, and the Hoosiers still remember that well 2 years later. Here's Brink with the spin. Now posting up. Here's the All-American matchup, and Brink able to muss it up and in through Holmes.
It's a great screen on the weak side to bring Brink to the strong side, and look how deep she catches it. Like Mackenzie Holmes just wants to stay vertical there. You're not going to block that shot. Holmes is giving up an inch to Brink and some length.
Step back three. Scalia doesn't get the bounce. And Cameron Brink with another rebound, already her 4th.
Chloe Moore McNeil really trying to be in the paint, right? They're going to play off the polo. They're going to make her prove she can hit some shots. So you see Moore McNeil clogging things up in the lane.
8-2 Cardinal early on. Pac-12 against Big Ten. Next year, of course, this will be ACC against Big Ten. Stanford set to make the move to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Garzone with the bucket.
If you like to watch cutters and use of screens, as Cameron Brink sticks a triple. She only made 10 last year, Beth.
And she turns to her bench. Psych, so she's already got a triple and a block. And an assist. And that's a travel.
Both these teams are so good at using screens, changing their pace, accelerating. Wide open at the top, and that's going to pull Mackenzie Holmes away from the bucket and open up some driving lanes.
So Cameron Brink early doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I know Terry Moran, the head coach at Indiana, did not want Mackenzie Holmes to be stuck on Cameron Brink all game, but the last couple of matchups, Holmes has been able to be in that matchup because of transition.
Last year's National Coach of the Year as the Hoosiers won the Big Ten outright for the first time in 40 years. Jump, that won't go. Rebounded by Parrish. Brink with another rebound.
I mean, that's a good shot to take. Maura McNeil, a much more confident player in her senior year. She's got to help out a little bit more in that Brink matchup, though.
Brink, she'll try again. Oh, hit again!
Come on, Cameron Brink! She's only made 32 in her career coming into the game. Look how good the women's game has been. What a week!
She's already 20% to last year's total, and it's only the second game. Kind couple of bounces for Maura McNeil. Hoosiers coming off a win against Eastern Illinois in their opener, and for Terry Moran, that was career win number 400. She is the Hoosiers' all-time wins leader. Nice wrap underneath the bucket for Bosgana.
I wouldn't say either one of these teams are very good in guarding dribble penetration. That's why they are so good at moving the ball and playing off the pass, right?
I would agree with you on both those assessments.
Yes, thank you.
On your double negative.
Well,
working inside. Ooh, almost the and one, and a foul underneath. 10 points, Stanford lead.
Yeah, 10 points behind Cameron Brink. What an incredible job she's done, knocking down a couple of the triples and being a factor on the block. .406 to go here in the first quarter.
And for Cameron Brink, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of three-pointers to go along with it.
Well, I would like to see Terry Moran's team maybe reverse the ball a little bit and see if you can get Stanford into rotation, because they haven't taken a lot of bad shots, but Stanford has done a really good job of guarding the first action of Indiana early.
Well, it is a new world indeed, gypped by pickleball. Hey, everybody, and welcome. We're glad you could join us, and for women's basketball fans, the finale of a triple header on ABC and ESPN today. I'm Beth Mowens, alongside Debbie Antonelli. Already a huge day. South Carolina a winner, NC State a shocker over UConn, and now we've got a matchup of two All-American centers with Indiana and Stanford.
For Indiana, it's Mackenzie Holmes, terrific player, runs the floor hard. For Stanford, it's Cameron Brink, best defensive player in the country last year. She has gotten off to a great start. This is a block here off the bounce against Indiana, and she motors up the floor. Now watch the delivery by 6'4", right to the shooting pocket. And Bosgana knocks it down, and then her work on the interior, she gets a great deep catch. And how about this? Welcome to the face-up world of a big being able to step outside. She's knocked down 2 triples already in the game, and she only made 10 all of last year.
Defensively, they have held the Hoosiers to just 3 of 11 shooting, 0 for 6 so far from downtown. And to get you caught up with Cameron, 8 points and those 2 triples. The last time these two teams saw each other, a monster night for Cameron Brink down in the Bahamas with a 20-20 performance. And the Hoosiers knew that job one was to try and take care of business with Cam on both ends.
You know, when we talked to, as we take a look at those numbers from Baha Mar in the Bahamas 2 years ago, right around this time, one of the things that we talked to Cameron about today at shoot-around was, you know, how her 3-on-3 opportunity with USA Basketball helped her become a better on-ball defender, helped her become better playing with the ball, in the ball screen actions, guarding ball screen actions as well as scoring in them, and also how she's starting to eat more, because Tara is running them a lot in practice because they want to play with pace, and she wants to be durable and ready when games start to really pick up and matter in February and March.
It is going to be a tussle this year in the Pac-12. They start out the year with 6 teams ranked. Already Colorado a stunning upset over LSU. How about the opening week of play? Number 1 and number 2 both lose. And the 3 is good from the freshman Nunu Aguirre out of Minnetonka, Minnesota.
Oh, the shape of the game is good. In November, we've seen upsets. We've seen the All-Americans perform. We've seen a lot of really good freshmen.
Foul off the ball. And in all likelihood, we're going to see a scramble in the rankings this week. And the very real possibility that Caitlin Clark and Iowa are going to be the new #1 in all the land.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the AP poll voters put her at 1, and I would say based on the way South Carolina played today, they could potentially be 1 or 2.
They're going to make a big jump with 2 big ranked wins. Impressive in both of those. And a jump. Got to know where she is beyond that arc. Boy, now both sides have been called for a moving screen. That'll be on Brink, her first. So here's the story of the day. South Carolina, 7 players in double digits. A new school record for points against a ranked foe. Iowa a winner today, and North Carolina State a stunner. Reynolds Coliseum was rocking as they upset UConn this afternoon.
A sold-out environment, and Reynolds Coliseum is always rocking. And I think Wes Moore has a team that is unselfish and really enjoys playing together. And Sanaya Rivers had a big game. I think NC State was picked 8th or 9th in the ACC this year.
Good depth again in the ACC. Shot clock's under 10. Iriafen gets a touch, goes to the left hand to get by Holmes.
I mean, Iriafen and Agara are 2 long, athletic, bouncy. They changed the rhythm of the game, and they have been great teammates for Cameron Brink to take some pressure off of her.
Struggles continue offensively for Indiana. Now 4 of 13 here in the first quarter. Agara tried to force that one up, and the tip back by Iriafen. Brooke Dimitri, no, nice box out weak side for Anna Sandvik. And then the turnover.
Watch Kiki Iriafen, a 6'3" junior, motor on the interior, take it right at Holmes. So you get that one-on-one matchup, and you don't bring help. Holmes doesn't want to get in foul trouble, so she has to be really careful. But I love the way Tara Vanderveer has multiple options to try to attack the All-American at Indiana.
They've been able to get in the lane. They've been able to score outside. Now a foul on the rebound will go against the Cardinal. That's going to be on Iriafen, and that's going to be her second. So she will have to leave, and we'll start to see a little bit of the Stanford depth. Courtney Ogden, the 6'1" freshman from Atlanta, one of their top 10 recruits, and the Georgia Prep Player of the Year, will check in. Looks like Brink will come back on as well, as Sydney Parrish will get to the free throw line. She's back home in Indiana, started out in Oregon. Senior out of Fishers, Indiana. Got more women's hoops coming your way next Sunday. That'll be over on ABC at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, and it's right back here in Naples with Stanford taking on the Duke Blue Devils. The matchup not to miss. It's next Sunday. We got more Caitlin Clark coming up in December. We'll see LSU in the coming weeks. Another 3-ball from Clardy. We'll see South Carolina in the coming weeks. Great lineup for you through November and December.
Cara Vanderveer told us that Chloe Clardy, the 5'9" freshman, is a little bit of a reminder of Kiana Williams, the point guard that helped take them to the national championship a couple of years ago.
They are outscoring Indiana 18-3 from downtown here in the first quarter. Alexis Bargesser, the sophomore out of Grass Lake, Michigan, will come on. She was a perfect 7 for 7 shooting it off the bench against Eastern Illinois the other day. Brink off the bounce, ends up with a Guerra. Missed the gimme.
You know, Cameron Brink drove right into all the Indiana traffic right there. If she swiped it through and gone to the left side, she had a clear out.
Sandy, way off, and Parrish is there to clean it up.
Indiana has scored a couple of baskets early on offensive rebounding. They got to keep scrapping and stay hustle right here. You got a chance right here for a 2-for-1.
Well, they got Brink with the defender behind her. Now she's able to face up. The spin. And a foul.
Look how quick that move is by Cameron Brink. See, that's an example right there of how playing 3-on-3 basketball with Coach Jen Rosati has helped make her a better offensive threat in other areas. Now, they always play through the pinch, so that's not new.
So Brink to the free throw line, where she has not missed a free throw since last February. 52 in a row. Newsworthy because prior to last season, a subpar free throw shooter.
I would say terrible free throw shooter.
That's your words, not mine.
I think Cameron would admit, and she got in the gym and she fixed it.
She fixed it. 54 in a row. And what a start for Cameron Brink. 10 points, 5 rebounds.
Well, she's not a liability at the end of the game now. And if she stays out of foul trouble like she told us she would this year, she wants to play 30 minutes, not 25.
Double team comes and it forces the travel. How about the hoop scoop on Cameron Brink? We noticed the tat on her forearm. 22 was mom's number in college. 42 was dad's number in college.
All Hokies.
Hokie hoopsters. Brink pitches it outside to beat the buzzer. No. Good if it goes. Well, Dimitri had 2 good looks at it. Parents didn't like that tat at first, but then when she explained it was their numbers, all was good in their world. Our matchup of All-Americans favoring Cameron Brink, Debbie, through that first quarter.
I mean, watch right here. The double comes, and Holmes just can't score over the top of Brink, and she can't score through the double. I think what Mackenzie Holmes does really well is her footwork away from the bucket a little bit. So I would try to give her some space so she can see the double coming. Because when you catch it that deep, Stanford's bringing that double quickly, and that's tough.
7 turnovers forced by the Stanford defense. Indiana just 5 buckets. And Mackenzie Holmes did not have any of those. So let's see her response here in the second. Also a foul change. Iriafen had 2. They switched it to another player. So now she only has the 1 and she's back in the ballgame.
We're also going a little jump defense here by Indiana, Beth. Looks like a box and one with Scalia on jump.
It's going to be a foul on Holmes trying to defend on Cameron Brink.
It's a good job by Terry Moore to try to change the rhythm of the game, right? I mean, I'm a big believer that you have to be able to change the rhythm of the game at points to be able to go from good to great and great to elite.
Got to do something to try and shift the momentum here. Big Ten preseason poll, the Hoosiers picked 3rd, and the drive is good from Iriafen. 3rd behind Iowa and Ohio State, with Maryland in the 4th spot in the league. And the Cardinal right now on a 7-0 run. Three ball is good. Scalia coming off the screen.
When Indiana has made shots, it's been the screening of Mackenzie Holmes. She's been involved in all that action.
Iriafen, offensive rebound in the putback.
See, that's why you got to get on the ball quickly, because Stanford is tilting the court in transition. They are all running hard towards their offensive end. Actually, Tara Vanderveer worked on a drill today that involved getting out on the break quickly.
That is a solid duo along the front line. A pair of 6'3", Iriafen and Brink. And they're doing it at both ends of the floor.
Holmes catches it in the middle. It's hard to bring that double, but watch right here, the offensive rebound, the quick bounce by Iriafen to get back off her feet.
Their win against Hawaii featured a school record 42 rebound margin. And now they're just pouring it on from downtown.
I mean, this is November, right?
It is.
I mean, the pace, the execution, the rhythm, the unselfishness.
Parrish deep, 3 out by the hash. Long rebound. Stanford's got it. Just 2 of 12 shooting the 3 for Indiana.
Cameron wants to be the trail so she can take a look at another triple.
Iriafen, the face-up, mid-range. Scalia's got it. Well, she had some room, didn't take the shot.
Yeah, but she looked up and Iriafen was on her.
Now she will, as Iriafen backed away, and Brink has the rebound.
I think Iriafen wanted to get that switch back to get the right matchup, but she didn't communicate it.
Oh, not quite the point guard skills just yet. Brink gets her pocket pick. Numbers for Indiana the other way. And they score the 3-on-2.
Hey, this is a tough, gritty Indiana club. Like they're gonna fight. You know, they will battle. We saw just that one possession, Beth, of a boxing one, and we'll go back to the man-to-man. And then look at that ISO ball right there.
She called for that as soon as she got her pocket picked at the other end. Said, I want to touch.
And Parrish started on Brink, and there's Brink with a block on Holmes. That's her second.
Iriafen, good position inside. Timeout, Indiana.
Really good no call on the other end. A 17-point Stanford lead here in the second. Watch Brink in the pinch. A little spin move. No help because shooters in the corner can't pinch. And then on the other end, she sprints, gets back and makes a play defensively.
Thank you, ladies. Looking forward to those highlights coming up at the half. A hot start here for Stanford over Indiana, but Terry Morin has really turned that Hoosier program into a powerhouse. In her spare time, she's just hanging out with John Mellencamp and Mike Woodson. Of course, she and John, the pride of Seymour, Indiana, Debbie, both from that small town. In fact, small town, John Cougar Mellencamp, one of her favorites. But I've seen it all in a small town and had a ball in a small town, Debbie.
You're in a big town right now.
We're on the farm right now. Stanford and Cameron Brink taking it to the Hoosiers. They have held All-American Mackenzie Holmes scoreless thus far. And they are scoring in the paint. They're dropping triples on their head, looking for another one. The freshman Ogden rattles in and out.
I mean, look at the pursuit by Cameron Brink to offensive rebound.
Relentless.
In any matchup Tara Vanderveer wants, she can throw in a pinch right there.
Another look for 3, and this time it's Talana Lapolo, the sophomore from Alameda.
Beautiful ball movement.
6 different Cardinal with a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I like this right here with Mackenzie Holmes. High ball screen, put her in the middle of the floor. Cameron Brink's going to play in drop coverage. That's going to give your shooters an opportunity. Okay, you gotta put it because it's hard to bring some help to that spot on the floor. I like that play call by Coach Morin.
Why is that? Because you can spin either way?
Well, I just like that right here in the middle of the floor. You take help away.
Yeah.
Put shooters in the corner, which they have. You can't pinch. And Cameron Brink's going to be in drop coverage with Mackenzie Holmes in that ball screen action.
Nice floater there from Lene Beaumont, the freshman out of Lisle, Illinois, and the prep player of the year in that state. Janiah Harriel is into the ball game now for Stanford. Aguirre, that's a freshman, folks. Strong off the bounce in the finish.
Hips and shoulders by the defender. Looked too easy for the freshman.
Boy, they're going to have some fun in the Pac-12 watching the likes of Nunu and Juju. And back on the East Coast, Asia Wiley had another good day today. So did Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame. Good rookie class around the country.
Looked like Zoe Brooks at NC State had a good
yes,
game.
she did, off the bench. Brink. Short.
See, again, that's the triangle offense that Coach Vanderbilt really likes to run. You can put multiple matchups in there and take advantage of defense. Cameron Brink's going to be a challenge for everyone all season. I mean, look how hard she runs, Beth. She can play in their drag action on the top of the floor now, especially if she's going to shoot the triple.
Polo off the bounce, floats one up. They're looking for her to be a more aggressive scorer to make herself a threat. We know she's a good passer. Last year set the freshman assist mark. Harriel hangs and hits.
Coach Vanderveer carrying 12 players on her roster this year. Allows everyone to get some early minutes.
Biggest lead of the ball game now for Stanford. Kick out. More McNeil, no. And a whistle and a foul on Indiana. Hey, Tuesday night on ESPN, one of the best nights of the year because you got a double dip on the men's side as well as a college football playoff reveal. It'll start at 7 Eastern. The State Farm Champions Classic, Duke, Michigan State. Then Reese Davis hosting the latest playoff reveal, and then back to the court for Kentucky, Kansas.
You know, I'm watching Cameron Brink pick up that foul, and that's her first foul in the game. And one of the things that you're going to watch Cameron Brink do as the season goes on, because she told us she needs to be on the floor 30 minutes, right?
Yep.
She wants to. Coach Vanderveer said she needs to be on the floor 30 minutes. And in order to do that, you're going to have to watch her start games and not be as aggressive. As the game goes on, she can get more aggressive trying to block shots and post up stronger.
And by aggressive, we mean she tried to block every shot that was taken, and that would usually get her into some foul trouble.
And she averaged 2.6 personal fouls a game last year. But here you go, for Stanford, here's what I think, projecting forward for their season, they have to be able to change the rhythm of the game with their defense. They certainly can do it offensively. And then Brink has got to stay out of foul trouble. That is 3 players on the interior with Cameron, Nunu, and Kiki that are all effective in different ways.
And Mackenzie Holmes will head to the bench as well. 2 personal fouls. She is 0 for 4 in the ball game and scoreless, and may stay that way till halftime.
Not a 3-point threat on the top of the floor.
Parrish off the bounce, and she draws the foul.
And with 1 second on the shot clock, that'll give Tara a chance to go into film tomorrow and say, you know what, we can't commit that foul right there. Tara told us how much she's enjoying this team, how unselfish they are, how much fun they are, and she wants them to be happy and healthy. And she said, right now we are.
It's nice when you've got Steph Curry around. You can come and talk to your team. He lives nearby, family friends with Cameron Brink. She told us that Steph's message was to star in your role. And that can be a challenge when everybody that arrives on your team was the best player on their team and high school All-Americans, and you have a role to play now in the college level. But and a jump off the bounce.
But everyone has talent.
Yeah.
And the difference could be who's got the best teammates. You know, whose body language is the best and who's cheering for each other. And who's challenging in practice every day so that you get better. Everyone gets better.
That's another Indiana turnover, number 10. So Steph came a call and hanging out at practice back in September. Nice moment there.
He's got a couple of season tickets in the building.
He does. Coming off a loss last night, they play again tonight up in San Francisco.
He might be watching his goddaughter right now, right?
Now, Steph, if you're watching, you're seeing the Cardinals score at will here. An impressive first half.
We might like to go to a game, Steph.
Look at this Aguera move.
I mean, look at the quickness right here. The reverse pivot. Again, if she gets even with her defender, with that body and that strength, right? You know, even meaning hips and shoulders next to each other or a little bit ahead. Low man's going to win in that every time. But she just got beat on defense.
She did. Final 2 minutes. Off the skip pass. Short. And Iriafen is right there. Looked like one of your old NC State passes from 1983 there, Debbie.
Yeah,
Lorenzo Charles.
That would be Derek Wittenberg to Lorenzo Charles.
Yes, on the receiving end. Pascana.
I like it when NC State's on your mind, Ben.
They're on everybody's mind right now after the stunning upset of UConn earlier today. So UConn and LSU, both early season losses for the top 2 ranked teams in the preseason poll. LSU has responded with a couple of wins since.
But that's why it seems that we're seeing a lot of top matchups. You know, even this week, I've seen Rakia Jackson, Diane Taurasi. We had Caitlin Clark, Elizabeth Kitley, Georgia Amore the other night. Now we get to see a couple of All-Americans today.
Yep. Is this the arrival of parity that we're seeing? And the block there by Aguera.
What we want is for more teams to have a chance to win.
Yes.
Winning is really hard.
There's your last 5 champs. You'll note they're all different. So 5 different winners in the last 5 tournaments. 12 different schools have been to the Final Four of the last 5 years. And of course, last season, first title for LSU, first final for Iowa, first Final Four for Virginia Tech.
And 9.9 million people watched the national championship game.
I think we're getting 10 this year plus.
Easily.
Of course, she's been around the game as long as anybody and has been as successful as anybody.
Nobody's won more.
Holmes is back on the floor now for Indiana.
So you got to make that shot. They've had open looks, and sometimes, you know, they're traveling on the interior. It's the pace that you're playing with, right? And Stanford is defensively has been very good in this game. They have sped them up a little. You've made them just enough uncomfortable.
Stanford shooting 60%, and they're holding Indiana to 28%.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's your ball game right now. Preseason poll says they're number 15, their lowest ranking in 8 years. I think that's going to jump up considerably if this holds.
That was on Cameron Brink's mind.
Holmes blocked.
I wish she hadn't countered. You know, she's got a beautiful half hook. We haven't seen it yet.
Shot clock violation. How about a first half here where Stanford is going to hold All-American Mackenzie Holmes to 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists. And they will be content to take that lead into the locker room, 54-26. Cameron Brink, 12 points, 9 rebounds, a couple of assists, and a couple of blocks. And It's all Cardinals on the farm, 54-26. Now let's get you back to El Duncan and Andrea Carter in the studio. Big first half on the farm for the home team, the Stanford Cardinals. Beautiful day here at Stanford. They lead 9th-ranked Indiana 54-26. As we welcome you courtside, getting set for the third quarter, Beth Mowens, Debbie Antonelli, and for Stanford, scoring inside, scoring outside, and taking care of business on the defensive end.
Balance, rhythm, and pace on offense. Locking down, protecting the paint, and rebounding on the other end. I mean, I don't know what Tara Vanderveer said to her team at halftime, but it's got to be going great if you're a Stanford Cardinal. And Cameron Brink anchors everything. She protects rim to rim. Now she can get out on the break and make a play like this. Just good guard-like skills out of a 6'4" body. When they ISO her on the block, she can finish when she catches in the pinch at the elbow. And then 2 triples in the first quarter is something new that everyone in the Pac-12 might be a little losing sleep over.
27 points from downtown, 22 points in the paint, and a one-sided comparison of the All-Americans from that first half. Time to find out the response here of Indiana. Rough go of it through the first 20 minutes on the road.
They got to run multiple screening actions, and they got to move the ball. See, now there's a spot that McKenzie can catch the ball and be effective.
Off the bounce, Scalia. Bothered on the shot by Brink. Same starting units out there to open up the second half. Iriafen immediately gets a touch inside for the score.
That is a lot of size when Indiana is a team that likes to play 4 out, 1 in. Garzone is a 6'3", and she has some size, but it's tough to guard the bigs of Stanford when you don't have the same girth.
16.7 rebounds now for Kiki. Holmes looking for her first basket, and she's got it.
Yeah, Mackenzie Holmes is going to have a big second half for Indiana because she's a baller, right? She's a competitor. She's worked way too hard. She's got to get herself in space and maybe catch facing up just like that.
Iriafen muscled that one up through the double team when the help came. 18 now for Kiki. More McNeil, in and out. Holmes, offensive rebound, and draws a foul. So already aggressive and getting to the rim in this third quarter.
Her first rebound on the offensive end. Her first rebound overall, and now she's going to shoot free throws. So she's going to get herself in rhythm. And watch the muscle right here. How about a little flex on this one? Iriafen just plays through. That's a weight room bucket. That's what we like to say.
So Holmes, within the first minute and a half, gets her first basket, her first rebound, and now her first trip to the free throw line. And the slow ascent begins to try and chip away at the deficit for the Hoosiers.
You know, part of the pace for Stanford is not just the sprinting up and down the floor, north and south. It's their cadence, east and west, in their quarter-court offensively. I thought it was really good in the first half, Beth.
Yep, Brink with the tip back. They'll have another possession.
And the ball doesn't get stuck here. They don't dribble, they pass, they spread the floor. Take advantage of what the defense gives them.
Brink gonna try for 3 again. Good box out, Holmes.
Just like a guard, she checks the shot clock on the other end and then turns and lets it fly.
Parrish, 3, no. 2 for 19 from downtown today. Iriafen, short.
Numbers.
Hoosiers counter. Scalia got that one up and in.
Mackenzie Holmes does have those 2 fouls. And Ariappin has Holmes on her. I'd like to see them go right back to that pinch with Ariappin and make Holmes have to guard that. Pinch meaning the elbow area. It's part of the terminology when you're running a triangle offense. It's something that's been a staple of Tara Vanderveer's offensive philosophy.
On the inbounds, and they score it with jump for 3.
Hey, look, Stanford's really good. This is not a bad Indiana team. It's just a buzz right here, right? Buzzsaw.
Yeah, they got everything going. But when we were watching practices today, you know, both of these coaches, so good with the fundamentals that they looked advanced. I mean, it's middle of November, but both of their shoot-arounds today looked like it was January already. And
this is the matchup right here. Make Holmes have to guard that with those 2 fouls.
Brink had it blocked, came back down with it, and what should have been a jump ball, I thought.
I actually thought she traveled.
You say tomato.
Would that be a double negative we just had again?
No.
Okay.
That's a tomato. Unfortunately for Indiana, it was also a basket for Stanford. Holmes for 3, short. And a strip taken away by Chloe and gets the assist. Good fight here in the 3rd quarter from the Hoosiers.
Look how deep she catches. Oh, unselfishly.
Lopolo, 3. Boy, it's tough to come back when you're shooting nearly 50% from downtown. Off the steal and the turnover, front row.
You know, when you're studying Lopolo, the point guard for Stanford, she did start 31 of 34 games last year. But she had a 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio after the year before, maybe not being so good. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, this is her sophomore year. She had a 2-to-1 last year as a freshman. That was impressive.
Dimitri short. She gets her own rebound and draws the foul. We talked about some amazing point guards that they've had over the years, from Sonia Henning to Jamila Weidman, Rise Goldan Wude, and Kiana Williams. Hey, you're going to see Stanford again next Sunday afternoon, 3 Eastern on ABC, with the Duke Blue Devils coming out west, right here at Maples Pavilion. See if Tara Vanderveer can continue to inch her way closer to Coach K and the all-time wins record in Division I college basketball, 16 wins away from catching Mike. And a pretty good group of coaches right there. Gino's not too far behind, and of course, the late great Pat Summitt, who started it all in that 1,000 wins club.
We were on the call a couple of years ago when Tara passed Pat. Remember that game we did in Stockton?
At UOP.
Yeah, it was really cool to be a part of that milestone. Of course, Coach Vanderveer next year will be taking her talents to the ACC.
Does she take her talents to South Beach? They haven't come out with a schedule yet, have they? Will they play at Miami?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Eventually she'll get her talents to South Beach.
God's got misses. The way they figured the schedule, it's probably going to be 4 or 5 trips back east over the course of the January, February. You know, they may have to play some league games in December. Same thing for Indiana. They might be coming out west a little bit more with UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington joining the Big Ten. Gonna call a travel on Brink. We'll take a break. 4.5 to go here in the 3rd. This one's tough to watch, folks. The disappearance of the Pac-12. It started in 2022 when the LA schools decided they were joining the Big Ten. And then this summer it started up again. Colorado going. Oregon, Washington, down to 7 members. And then 3 more gone. The Bay Area out. And from 12 down to 2 are all that remain right now, Oregon State and Washington State. As Cal and Stanford will join SMU next year as newcomers to the ACC. And those Pacific Northwesters and the LA schools off to the Big Ten to play with Indiana. Big day here for Stanford thus far. Well, they've been dominant on both ends.
Well, the adjustment off that timeout by Coach Morin is to accelerate their cadence a little bit on the offensive end, like cut harder. You know, this is certainly a team that's much better than 36 points at this point in the game.
Cameron Brink, Kiki Iriafen, 32 points and 21 rebounds so far. We still got 4 minutes to go here in the third. Kiki going to work and took an extra walk.
I like the advanced pass, look to the bucket. It's one of the things Coach Morin said to us. They're going to go 1 to 3 to 5, or 1 to 2 to 5, meaning looking like they're meaning that their wings would run the floor hard and then look inside once they caught an advanced pass up the court.
Foul this time on the Cardinal. Hey, ESPN Films' latest documentary is Candace Parker, Unapologetic, and it premieres tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The superstar's journey in her own words. Following the premiere tonight, the film will also be available on ESPN Plus. I can't wait. Tennessee, legend in the WNBA, still may not be done.
You know, I remember when Pat Summitt signed her and said, you know, she's going to be the greatest player to ever play at Tennessee. And I got in my car and I drove to go to her first college game because I wanted to make sure I saw it with my own eyes so I could document it later, not knowing for sure. And look what it is.
Is she awesome. Is she at the top of your list, Tennessee greats?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Tamika Catchings is a close second.
Yeah. Oh, the back door. Lapolo to jump. Of course, Shamika Holtzclaw had those 3 national championships. They've had some good ones in Tennessee. They anticipate being even better this year.
Well, Rakia Jackson is an incredible player. I mean, she's going to have to carry them a long ways this year. She's going to need, she'll probably lead the nation in scoring. I wouldn't be surprised if she averaged 25 points a game.
On the run, a Garrett, tough catch under the rim.
Quick hands by Chloe Moore McNeil. Talking about big scorers. You know, I like offense.
It's now the best in Iowa history. She passed Megan Gustafson today, and she did it with her 12th triple-double. December 6th, folks, mark your calendar. Iowa at Iowa State, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. How raucous are they going to be in Ames that night?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Hilton Magic will be alive.
Hopefully it's as electric as Iowa and Virginia Tech in Charlotte the other day on that neutral floor. That was a spectacle. 16,000 fans.
The part I love about it is that each team got a $150,000 payout. There was an investment by Charlotte. And Danny Morrison, who runs the Charlotte Sports Foundation, is sitting at home watching his Caitlin Clark in the Final Four and decides, I'm going to bring her to Charlotte and play a game. And he figures out a way to do it financially and economically, so it made sense. That's the kind of investment we need in our game.
Bet you other cities are trying to do it for next year. Knocked away by the Cardinal D. Well, they all get down the floor in a hurry. Ogden can't put that one away.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark is must-see TV. Unfortunately, it will be the last time we'll see her on our air on ESPN until the tournament. And will they be #1 tomorrow morning when people wake up?
Yeah. #1 LSU, #2 UConn have both lost in the first week of play. That hasn't happened in 25 years as jump scores. So there'll be a lot of, do we put Iowa up there? Do we put South Carolina up there?
Yeah.
They had 2 big wins this week. Going to be some hemming and hawing, perhaps.
I think there are going to be a lot of split votes on that. You know, there's a reason why the voters, there's usually a progression, but the way you go about putting the poll together is who has the least number of question marks. And I think South Carolina had some question marks. And Dawn Staley filled those question marks through recruiting and the portal by bringing in some guards that can score. I mean, flat out score.
Didn't rebuild, they just reloaded.
Always depth up front, always long and athletic up front, really good defensively. That's not going to change. But to have guards that can make threes and can space the floor, and could they be better without Aaliyah Boston? Because we didn't think they could be better without Asia Wilson, and they were really good with Aaliyah Boston.
But Ghana's got it.
I mean, I'm excited about watching what Dawn Staley does with a reconfigured offense as well. Still playing through the post, but just guards that can make shots.
Well, this Stanford team's going to move up for sure. I mean, you could have, with UCLA and Utah, could have 3 Pac-12 teams high on that list tomorrow.
I mean, even the wide open shots where Indiana has their feet under their shoulders, they're just not making them today.
Brink travels with the double team coming at her.
As soon as you're a big and you see the double and you put the ball over your head, that means you're standing up. That is really hard to play through a trap when you do that. You got to do the opposite. Drop your hips, get lower, so you can see and read and feel where the D's coming from.
Final minute of this third quarter. And a foul on Brooke Dimitri. Cameron Brink snags her 16th rebound of the ball game through 3 quarters. And ball foul. Erie Offin is 1 rebound away from joining Cameron with a double-double today. That front line dynamite. Clardy.
We had a really good conversation with Cameron Brink at shoot-around today, and she was talking about Nunu and Kiki and her teammates and how great it is to watch them help take some pressure off her, how hard practices have been, how much they're gearing up for the year. And, you know, the other thing too, Beth, is, you know, we know what Cameron Brink's skill set is. We've seen her add the three-point shot a little bit more consistently to start the season, but you know, it's all about being a good leader right now. You know, everybody has talent. Can you be the vocal leader and lead by example? And what's your body language look like? You know, how do you handle your teammates? How do you handle the referees? All those things are important.
Yeah, same thing from the Indiana side when we talked to Terry Morin today. You know, we asked about all the recent milestones, you know, getting within a breath of the Final Four and winning the Big Ten Conference last year. Said it's all about the leadership in your locker room. And Indiana has had amazing leaders the last few years, whether it was Allie Patberger, Grace Berger, and now after a day like today, you know, who are the voices that start to emerge for Indiana in that leadership role? Certainly Mackenzie Holmes, the grad student, will be one of them. Final seconds of the third quarter. Stanford, their biggest lead of the ball game. And another block by Brink.
I mean, this is a slow developing play, and even Mackenzie Holmes is telling the freshman, you know, come on, let's go. Clock got too late, took too slow to develop. Those are things that'll get better.
And Brink blocks another one. 2 in the last 2 seconds of the quarter for Cameron Brink.
If you're the leader, look at the reaction by your teammates. How happy they are for what you can do to help Stanford get to the next level.
some notable numbers so far for these two sides. This is the 50th season they're playing ball here at Stanford. Cameron Brink has now gone over 300 career blocks. And for Indiana, Mackenzie Holmes today moving up to number 2 all-time at Indiana behind Tyra Buss as their leading scorer. And Terry Moran the other day picked up career win number 400. She is at the top of the list at Indiana all-time.
You know, she didn't even know she was approaching that milestone until right before the game. Somebody had mentioned it to her as Mackenzie Holmes knocks down an elbow jumper. She said, "What are you going to do to celebrate 400 wins?" She said, I'm going to have my team shoot 400 free throws. That's how I'm going to celebrate.
Always working on the next thing. Story of this one, well, Stanford's been dominant at both ends. 4 players scoring in double digits. Cameron Brink already with a double-double. Kiki Iriafen, the next rebound, will join her there.
They just turned down one good shot for a better shot, is what Stanford's got going right now. I mean, look how spaced out the floor is.
Clardy on the drive, the drop-off, picked off. Three-pointer's good.
Back-to-back buckets for Indiana.
That was Beaumont with the triple, and Stanford with the response.
And it's so smooth.
Short corner, Holmes long.
I'll tell you what, you know, we always talk about 3-level scoring, but there's also 3 levels of defense. Great ball pressure, which we've seen out of Stanford today. The ability to rotate, get into gaps is the second level, and the third level is rim protection, which we've seen Cameron Brink. They've got all 3 levels defensively, and they have all 3 levels offensively.
6 blocks for the Cardinal with that rim protection. Got a foul on the drive.
A little late on the closeout. Good attack off the bounce.
How about some men's hoops coming up Tuesday night at the State Farm Champions Classic, that doubleheader, Duke, Michigan State, and Kentucky, Kansas. And of course, in between games, the new college football playoff reveal, the top 25 ranking show. Buckeyes of Ohio State didn't do anything, I don't think, to lose that #1 ranking right now. Michigan, a big win at Penn State. Georgia, looking very much the 2-time defending national champion. And Florida State survived a scare against Miami. I don't know if that 4 is going to change much. Washington and Oregon at 5-6, also both victorious. Not the chaos yet that we've seen to start the college women's basketball season.
Right, it's been good. I mean, really fun first week. You know, again, the versatility of the offense for Tara Vanderveer to put multiple players in that elbow pinch action out of their triangle offense. I mean, it's where you can call matchups, right? You see a weaker defender, you've got an option there. Coach Vanderveer's had I would say it was a good play calling game, but actually she teaches her players how to play, not just to run plays. So you can just put multiple people in that action. It's tough to guard.
She's having fun. She says she loves getting in the gym with this group every day at practice.
She loves getting in the pool. She got a bike workout and some weights before the game today. Always working out.
You know, you're at Stanford, you're hanging out with all the celebrities. You know, Condi Rice is around, Steph Curry's around. Who goes water skiing, you know. Look at that.
I don't know many people at 70 years of age that are water skiing.
Look at that. I mean, she's in the pool. That's Katie Ledecky right there with the floaty. I mean, Katie needed a floaty. Tara did not need one. She does the full medley in the pool. 3 national championships for Tara, and bridge that gap from 1992 to 2021. That NCAA tournament coming out of the pandemic. down in San Antonio. Going to be an offensive foul on Iriafen, who does have the double-double now, by the way, 20 points and 11 rebounds. So her coming out party here in the first week of play with back-to-back double-double. She averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds last year. So a massive leap thus far for Kiki.
Really good defensive fundamentals. High hands on the catch, high hands, and then the steal and the breakout.
Oh, missed it.
Another rebound for Brink.
Courtney Ogden can't believe it. She got the tip pass. She was going to get rewarded. And an oops on the layup. Lily Meister will check into the lineup, the sophomore out of Rochester, Minnesota. Replaces Holmes.
Nice curl.
Jump back to Ogden. And is this a foul on Brink? Cameron says, wait a second, I'm the one that hit the deck on that.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Instead of complaining about the call, she goes to talk to the official.
Yep.
She's the speaking captain. She's allowed to do that. See, that's the kind of stuff that's becomes the next level for great players in the college game.
Brink on a hand on the ball. Back to Scalia. Trying to drive on the big girl. Got to kick it all the way back out. Parrish, shot clock down to 2, has to jack. Terrific set by Stanford. Yep, that guy's got the call right. Shot clock violation. Down to 5 on the shot clock for the Card. And Brink, the reach-in foul called on Meister.
I mean, it's hard to jump to the ball when Brink is so quick and determined to get to the strong side, right? She knows the swim move. I'm sure coach has taught her the swim
absolutely.
move.
Look at that day for Brink. You know, pregame we heard from Terry Moore, and then the pregame speech was, we can't let Cameron do to us today what she did 2 years ago, and that came down in the Bahamas. Easier said than done, right? I mean, Cameron has really been a beast on both ends of the floor today. Setting the tone early, and how about the step through right there? They scored a bunch on their, what's that, Debbie? Is that a blob?
That would be a blob.
That's a blob.
Baseline out of bounds.
Yeah.
Slob is on the sideline.
Sideline out of bounds. You know, we're here for the fans. We're here for you.
Finally, Chloe Moore McNeil, after going 0 for 7, makes the 3. She's had a tough afternoon out west.
I mean, they're just 5 of 30 from downtown. And a foul on the box out. 83-50. 4.5 to go. A couple of games in her career against Indiana and a couple of doozies. Putting up numbers. How about some outside shooting today, Debbie, from a host of different Stanford Cardinals?
You know I love it. They've gotten threes off their transition game, off their quarter court, off pin downs, step backs, catch and shoot. You name it. The Cardinal has made it from outside the three-point line. They've got 10 triples. That's 30 points.
Boom. Does that match?
They're 83.
Does that match the number of Arriaga buildings on the Stanford campus?
Mr. Arriaga had quite a presence here.
He was a huge fan of the Stanford women's basketball team. Big donor here at Stanford. Chloe Clardy, the freshman out of Conway, Arkansas, with the finish. She's got good body control, getting to the rim with that one hand. Holmes. It's been that kind of day for Mackenzie, and she'll be anxious to get back in the gym and get back to work.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be disappointing for Indiana. This is not the way they didn't play the way they prepared, or the way they, got themselves ready, or the way they put their team together in the offseason. But Stanford is really good, and they're really tough at home.
Got a couple of winnable games coming up next week, and then they will play Tennessee Thanksgiving week. That will be a huge marker to see the progression from today. Holmes gets the layup there.
Good decision by Parrish.
Almost said Patrick Mahomes on that one, but Kansas City's on a bye today. What a start for the Pac-12 Conference in their final season together. They, what were they, 22-0 coming in today, now up to 24-0 on the season, including the big upsets. Colorado over LSU, Southern Cal over Ohio State, and now this one. In terms of an upset, according to the preseason pollsters, this is a 15-9 today. And this should do it for Cameron Brink.
That free throw streak.
Oh no, did it come to an end? No, 6 for 6, it will continue.
Yes.
58 in a row. And Brink, nice round of applause. 20 points and 17 rebounds today. Handful of blocks, few assists.
Look at Clardy right there, get over the top of that action. I mean, she gets the switch. Stanford switching on the perimeter most of the game. And you know what? We got to go back to that first half. I mean, Terry Moore tried to change the rhythm of the game with her defense. They did show box and one, and they did show a couple possessions of trying to change it a little bit, but it's hard to bust a rhythm when you've got 5 scorers on the floor.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, for a player like Cameron, who's been there and done that, a national championship, Final Four, you bring in a freshman class like this that's one of the top rated in the country. You had a disappointing finish to last year, and now this bolt of adrenaline shows up with Nunu and Chloe and Courtney Ogden.
Well, the first thing that stands out with Stanford is their overall size, their team size, their length. And then the second thing is, to me, is the acceleration with which they play the game on both ends, right? And the pace, the north and south pace, the east and west pace. And they have depth. And their post play was outstanding.
Yep. You lose a player the caliber of the All-American Haley Jones, and now you've got a lot of young players hunting for some playing time, some quality minutes to add to what the Cardinal have coming back. O'Hara almost with a fantastic finish.
And absolutely get to the rim in transition, Beth, because without the shot blocking presence of Cameron Brink on the floor, you have to attack inside until someone else emerges as that shot blocker inside for Stanford.
All smiles over there with 2:16 to go.
How many of those kids over there at Stanford are heading to study hall when this game's over with? All of them? Or they celebrate a little bit before they go to study hall?
I celebrate a little bit. Do you still go to study hall, or you just crack your laptop?
No, I think
crack your laptop open.
I don't know.
Get some work done.
You know what? I'm sure because Tara Vanderveer has had so many excellent students over her time, I'm sure they don't need to understand the importance of getting their degree. So you don't need study hall. Maybe that's the way it works here.
Beth Moen's here, and somebody I thought was Debbie Antonelli, but you're talking a lot of academics right now.
I talked a little academics and a little defense. I know I'm not comfortable in
you
those
are
spaces.
expanding. Like Tara and like Terry, you too are learning. Never settle, folks. Always keep learning. And both of these coaches talked about what they learned from the disappointment of a year ago and the work. You got back to work in the off season.
Well, they both got knocked off on their home court by
lower seeds.
Lower seeds as 1 seeds, and they had great aspirations of going all the way, right, to the Final Four.
First time in 25 years that 2 number 1 seeds were bounced before the Sweet 16. So it speaks to the parity of the game.
It still stings both coaches when you bring it up. However, you got to give props to Ole Miss and Yolette McEwen, who came in here with her team, and then Katie Meyer and her team at Miami that went into Indiana and won.
Free throw is good from Dimitri. And let's see who's come in here. Is that Lauren Green out there now for Stanford, and Stavi Papadaki, the sophomore from Greece. Indiana's got Juliana LaMendola, their other freshman from Texas, in there.
Officials haven't had to blow their whistle very much tonight.
It's been a fast game. That second quarter hardly stopped at all. Free throws coming here for Sarah Scalia.
So if you're Terry Moore, are you burning this one? Are you dropping it off the plane, parachute it off into the desert somewhere? And, you know, I mean, she's such a great student of the game, and I know she'll be disappointed about the team showing, but you remember this moment and then watch this team in February, and you'll see a totally different
difference. Yep. Well, that's why they play, these coaches take on challengers in the non-conference. Build towards the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and ultimately the NCAA tournament to get them ready. Aguera.
When in doubt, shoot it.
Hey, she's into double digits, 11 points, 3 rebounds. Foul called on the perimeter into the final minute. Stick around, coming up next, Sports Center. I bet you they're going to have some highlights from South Carolina's big win over Maryland today, and Sanaya Rivers leading the way for NC State, the shocker over number 2 UConn this afternoon.
I can't wait to watch it. Wes Moore at NC State, always known as a really good tactician.
Garrett to the outside, and the triple is good. Janiyah Harrell, sophomore out of Sacramento. That's got her teammates partying on the sideline. Off the hesitation and to the rim. Nice scoop up and in from Beaumont, showing flashes of what's to come in the next 4 years. Final seconds winding down, and the Stanford Cardinal, dominant performance from start to finish this afternoon as they take care of business and take care of Indiana. 5 in double figures for the Cardinal, including that woman right there. They call her Nunu. Double doubles for Brink and Iriafen. 15 for Scalia, 15 for Parrish, the leading scorers today for the Hoosiers. 96-64, your final. And the Cardinal pick up a big top 10 win to put on the resume. Win number 1,188 for the legend, Tara Vanderveer. And a nice moment with her and Terry Morin. And the Cardinal improved to 2-0. Indiana falls to 1-1 on the season. We hope to have Cameron Brink come over and chat with us momentarily.
Impressive team win for the Cardinal. They ran the floor hard. They were connected on the defensive end, and they made a lot of shots. 96 points is a great outing for them.
Yep. So the 6'4" senior will come over and join us at the table. A couple of guards will stand for this one. As the Cardinal faithful celebrate, we're going to get Cameron Brink with us.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, the number's impressive. 20 points, 17 rebounds, and a handful of block shots today. A couple of assists and a couple, Debbie, a couple three-pointers for the big girl.
Looking good, Cam, looking good.
What are you enjoying about the early start for this group coming off the disappointing loss to end last season?
You know, I think I'm just so proud of this team. I mean, I think you can tell we love to play with each other. So I'm so proud of Nunu, Kiki, Hannah Jump, like everybody. We came out and we showed everyone what we're made of. So I don't know, maybe people will take us a little more seriously now.
Well, I think people are definitely going to take you serious. I don't think anyone ever sleeps on the Cardinal. But you told us before your 3-on-3 experience with USA Basketball really helped your guard-like skills, your ball screen action. What about your threes?
A little bit, yeah. I have a lot more confidence in my three. It's just been a lot of practice, a lot of repetition. So I'm confident in it this year.
And Cameron, the other thing you talked to us about was Kiki and Nunu and how they can take some pressure off you. They're pretty athletic. They've got a quick bounce.
Yeah.
What do they add that you didn't have last year?
I think it's just, you know, their confidence. I feel like we had such great play last year, but I think this year they really know who they are, what they can do, and we have some of the best bigs in the country. So I'm so proud to play with them, and they're guard-like as well. Nunu can be 1 through 5. So I mean, they're just truly amazing to play with.
The other thing you talked to Beth and I about at shoot around today was that number 15 ranking, and I know you don't pay attention to it very much, but how could people be sleeping, right? They're not sleeping on the Cardinal. What do you think about that and being the hunted and not always being the hunter?
Yeah, you know, since my freshman year, we've been top 5. So I think it's just a different mindset this year. We have to come and really show people what we're made of. So I think today was a great start to all of that.
All right, well, thank you very much, Cameron. We appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the way to you.
Thank you, guys. Cameron, bye.
Double-double for Brink, double-double for Erie Offen, and they end up with 11 three-pointers, so they got it done inside and outside. And they pick up the win over Indiana, 96-64, your final. For Debbie Antonelli, our entire crew out here on the farm, I'm Beth Mowens. After the break, Sports Center is coming up. We'll see you right back here next Sunday for Duke Stanford.